FB, badges, items, and star power. Pretty essential for the basic combat in Paper Mario 64. But what if you just weren't allowed to use any of that garbage? That's why I decided to beat Paper Mario 64 without using any of the stuff that I just mentioned. The rules are pretty simple. I'm not allowed to use anything that I just mentioned. Alright, let's go into the prologue. This challenge starts off pretty much the same as any other Paper Mario 64 playthrough would go. We go to the castle, we get our shit kicked in by Bowser, then we fall from outer space. Even though there's no fall damage in this game, so just don't question the logic because this is Mario. The stars save us, then we go to Goomba Village, where we fiddle around for a bit, and then we do an Undertale reference and we fall. We get the hammer, then we use said hammer to bash in the head of a small orphan child, and then we leave the Undertale reference. Then we go on to the red and blue Goomba mini-boss fight, and because Mario is a certified blue racist, he goes after the blue Goomba first, and then we curb stomp the red one, giving us the dub. And then, the Goomba King boss fight was pretty easy. We just attacked a tree so we can kill his children fast. And then, in just like 2 turns, we end up killing the Goomba King, allowing us to pass on to Toad Town. Before entering Toad Town, however, I do grab the hammer throw badge. Now you may be asking yourself, why would I do this? The real answer is I like hoarding. So once we get into Toad Town, I sell all my items that I'll never be able to use for coins that I'll never be able to use. And then we go on the Star Path, we talk to the Star Spirits, then we meet the Femboy, he gives us the ability to do Action Command, and then we curb stomp Kamek into the floor. And after putting my love up into HP because I can't use the other 2, we're finally able to move on to Chapter 1. Chapter 1 starts off pretty much the same as in any other playthrough. We walk along the path, unlocking the bridge, pick up a few items and badges that I'll never be allowed to use, and we eventually make our way to Koopa Village. In Koopa Village, it seems like, as usual, the Fuzzies are deciding to launch a full-scale invasion of the town. But luckily, we have our hero Mario to push back the invading Fuzzies. And we also do say something pretty stupid. Alright Goombario, are you ready to meet your replacement? And after we hit the Fuzzies out of the trees because they're deciding to go via Kong style, we get on to the Fuzzy mini-boss fight. Now this fight usually is meant to show the player that you can use your party members to hit multiple enemies at once, but seeing how we're not allowed to use FP, yeah, we're kind of limited, so we can only deal damage to 1 at a time. Meaning that this fight did take some time, but we never came close to losing anyway, so we are able to progress without much hassle. We do some side quests for the Mayor Koopa, eventually allowing us to get the silver card, which means we can obviously hit the blackjack tables. Woo! I didn't go gambling once in this playthrough, unfortunately, but we're gonna move on to the Koopa Fortress. Inside the Koopa Fortress, we do have to kill a bunch of enemies, most notably the enemies that we have to kill in order to move on, like the Koopa and Bob-omb in the first room. Then, deeper in the fortress's basement, we get trapped in a room, but after committing mass homicide, we are able to leave because the Koopa Troopers are just too scared to leave us in the room. After falling for the world's easiest trap to see, we do get Bombette. Fine for now, just really not wanting to say anything negative. We blow up the wall with her, and we move on. Then nothing really interesting happens as we continue progressing through the fortress, and so I'll just skip to the final hallway with the bullet bills, which we are able to get through pretty easily, which then leads us to the Koopa Bros boss fight. But for some reason, when we entered inside the fortress, the Koopa Bros weren't there. But for some reason, Bowser? What the hell is he doing so early? I thought he's the final game boss. Man, Paper Mario 64 is harder than I remember. So we beat up on Bowser, but after a bit, it wasn't Bowser? What incarnation is this? I thought that was Bowser. It looks so convincing. Alright, but there's the Koopa Bros. Now that the Koopa Bros are out here. Ow. That attack did a lot. Yeah, I think we may need to get at least one more love up. Because this fight seems to be pretty hard. So we attack again, we kill the green Koopa, like that will do anything. Then they get back up then. Oh, we lived. We lived on 1, let's go. Now, we just need to kill the other 3. But then, we unfortunately mess up and we don't kill the black Koopa and we don't knock down the red one to his back. Meaning that unfortunately we do live? We were still alive in one. Okay, we killed the black Koopa. Then, we killed the red one. Meaning that we don't have to grind, and we are able to progress with this challenge after pulling a Sans. Whew. All those genocide runs have really come in handy. But after beating the Koopa Bros, we get the star card, we free the star spirit, and then we get on to the boring ass Peach segment. So we do that, read the diary, not that anyone cares, because no one likes these segments anyways. And that finally concludes Chapter 1. After that boring AF Peach segment, we are forced to use the star power, but it is only in a tutorial, so we're not going to count it, because it is just a tutorial. Then we bash a child's head in with a hammer, have a run-in with the femboy again, and then go by one of 2 badges I am allowed to use in this challenge. The first one being Speedy Spin. Why? Because this badge is really convenient. It lets me spin faster, which means I get to walk less. So yeah, I'm allowing myself to use it because it's just a convenience badge and not one for the actual battles. So it doesn't make the game easier. But after freeing the train, we're able to move on to Chapter 2. In Chapter 2, we start exploring, then we start doing Parakarry's thing, and we also do play on the slides because it's fun, don't judge me. We find this absolute cutie patootie, like look at the little blue guy. Look at the little wacka. Who could hurt such a precious and innocent little thing? We pick up the final letter, which allows us to unlock Parakarry, and then we return to Toad Town because despite me not being able to use items, I'm a hoarder, so I kind of want to pick up everything I see. So I go store some items, and then I return to Dry Desert without totally dying to a blooper. We get the magical seed, we then lie to a vulture, and then we totally don't get lost for like 15 to 20 minutes. That didn't happen, and I also didn't want to kill every single Pokey because they're the most annoying things. I fucking hate Pokeys in the desert. Why is there so many of them? Okay, well, granted, this is a desert, so, like, and cacti, so, like, it makes sense, but, like, they're still annoying, but, like, I need to get mad about it. So, like, oh, look, we found the town. In the town, we do the usual. We bypass the worst security measure known to man. We then go talk to Mr. Mufasa, and then we go open the temple after being lost for a bit. But before going into the temple, I decided I'm gonna go get the super rank. So we go, eventually find the super rank. I'm just gonna kill these. The game crashed. Fuck. That's alright, let's just restart this really quickly. Luckily, we didn't lose that much progress, so it's pretty easy. We get a lemon, so I can bribe the anti-guy later, despite me not being able to use items at all, nor badges. But again, I like hoarding. Then we use the super block to super rank Parakarry, and then finally we can make our way to the dungeon. In the temple, it progresses like usual. I get my favorite badge despite me not being able to use it. We kill a few Pokeys, we kill a few enemies, and we just progress until another game crash. Okay, so after doing all that again, I can progress deeper into the temple, but I do save because I'm starting to get a wee bit paranoid. This is the second crash, and I kind of don't want to do all this stuff again. So we'll use the key, fiddle around with the world's most confusing staircase, and then finally get the super hammer, meaning I can kill stuff faster. We super rank Cooper, then we go kill a chain chomp. We also get the artifact, and we then move on to fight the next chain chomps, then crash when we use Bombette. Nope. This is the second time we've crashed and Bombette was out. But luckily we saved. So upon going back to try to kill the chain chomps, we do the same thing with Bombette, and the game crashes. So I think we found the culprit for the game crashes. Bombette. Fuck you, Bombette. So after reloading the save again, we kill the chain chomps without that pink bitch, and we get the triangle gem. Then we get lost because I didn't know where the third gemstone was. So after going back upstairs so I can save, the game crashes. And of course, we had Bombette out, so I'm pretty sure just her being out in battles causes the crashes. I don't know if this is just a Project 64 thing, but I'm pretty sure just Bombette being out in battle causes a game crash. So we reset, find the moon gem, put in the correct pattern, heal, and then we go on to fight Tutan Koopa. But before Tutan Koopa, I do grind for a little bit so I can get 5 extra HP. Now, the Tutan Koopa fight wasn't really that hard, as we just spam parry carry, and we do jump him a bunch of times, and because Tutan Koopa does have a tendency to hurt himself occasionally with the rocks, this fight ended up being rather easy. Even with the chain chomps coming out, it was still pretty easy to manage them. And even then, I don't even think we needed to attack. We could have just focused all of our efforts on Tutan Koopa. But other than that, we didn't even need to level up because we ended on 10 extra HP. So that was nice. And we get the card, and then let's just skip over the Peach segment because no one likes these anyways. We lied to the Vulture again, we super rank Goombario, and we make our way back to Toad Town. Now, going into Chapter 3, you can see something in the bottom left corner. That's right, Bombette's in the cuck chair. If she wants to crash the game, then fine. She can sit out and she can sit in the cuck chair where she belongs for the rest of this game. So, we go into the forest. Everything is mostly fine. Until the last room where I kind of don't know how I'm meant to do it. But eventually I do bullshit my way through and we do find our way to the Boo Mansion. Inside the Boo Mansion, nothing really interesting happens other than us being burned, us distracting a Boo with music, and getting the Ultra Boots, and eventually we get up to Lady Bo, and she agrees to join us for the low price of we don't kill her. Okay, nothing really happens up until we get to Tubba Blubba's mansion. So, in Tubba Blubba's mansion, we kill a bunch of Clubbas because they give a lot of experience points, which means I'm able to level up rather quickly. Also in Tubba Blubba's mansion, I find a really cool secret behind the clock. Now, is this common knowledge to some people? Yes, but for me, this is the first time I've seen it, so let me be happy for once, damn it. Then, after pulling a no one hears a word, they say, because our memories were gone and we were feeling numb, we go and kill the Clubbas in the room. That had like 50 of them. Before we go downstairs to kill more Clubbas, because apparently Mario's just orchestrating a Clubba genocide. Honestly, pretty on par with Mario. Then, after killing probably the entire Clubba population, we get the disobedient key that just yelled our position. And then we hang around next to Tubba Blubba by his bed, you know. We just homies and oh my god, Tubba Blubba, stop chasing me! And then we go fight the battle that I've been dreading the most since the start of this challenge. Tubba Blubba's Heart. Now you see, Tubba Blubba's Heart has a charge attack that deals like 12 damage. And see how we only have 40 HP. That means we're gonna die really quickly, especially because we can't use Lady Bo to just dodge the attack. But we go into the fight with the one idea, just keep attacking, as mathematically, this fight is possible, as Tubba Blubba's Heart has 50 HP, and we deal 9 damage each turn, if we, do it perfectly and all. And because we can survive 3 of his attacks, that means if we just keep attacking, we should be able to kill him. And, luckily, I was correct, as we were able to beat Tubba Blubba's Heart, and once Tubba Blubba's Heart and Tubba Blubba reunited, we were also able to kill them despite our low HP, because Tubba Blubba is very weak. But at least his theme is absolute banging. We beat the chapter, I guess. Then whilst we were trying to leave the Maze Woods, we get ambushed by Junior Trooper. Now this fight is, hard, mainly because Junior Trooper, for one, has defense, 2, he's flying, and 3, he deals a bunch of damage and has a lot of HP. So, that means we, kinda die. A bunch. Meaning that I'm gonna have to go grind a bunch until we have enough HP to tank enough hits until we're able to finally kill Junior Trooper. Then, back in Toad Town, we get intercepted by the femboy again, and we finally enter the toy box. No, not you, I mean the chapter in Paper Mario. Then, in the toy box, we get the stolen items back, and then we kind of just feel bad for a Goomba. Like, he just got spawned into the world. And first thing he has to do is fight Mario. The guy who can just keep coming back after dying. The guy who just one-shots him. So, can we get F's in chat for the Goomba and Toy Time? Then, we go give the storeroom key to the shopkeeper. So sad about that Goomba, man. But, after that, we go get my favorite badge in the Paper Mario series. Peekaboo. I just wanted to see the enemy's HP, okay? That's why I'm allowing me to use this badge, because it doesn't affect the gameplay. It just makes everything more convenient, because Peekaboo shouldn't even be a badge. It should have just been a base game feature. But anyways, we go back to the toy box, we put the train in, yada yada, you know the rest. We continue onwards until we find the fat guy, meaning we have to go a wee bit of backtracking so we can go get the cake. But after getting the cake, then I definitely don't use Google to figure out the pattern of the boxes. But I did also find a pretty cool thing with the boxes. That if you fight the Shy Guys, then the color code pattern that you need to input into the boxes is also the pattern that the colored Shy Guys will stand in. Which I think is pretty cool that Nintendo added 2 ways to figure out how you're meant to hit the boxes. So, good game design. And then we go hit the slot machine. Woo, woo, spin that shit. Okay, but after reveling in my degeneracy, I go find Lanker Ghost, which was a pretty easy fight, besides me messing up a few timings. But other than that, this fight was pretty easy, as it doesn't have too much HP, and we finally get a baby. I mean on our team. So we go super rank the baby, and then we go on to fight General Guy. General Guy, for the uninitiated, has a few phases, starting with the Horde of Shy Guys, which we're able to kill pretty easy, especially with the fact that we have Watt, who deals a bunch of damage, and Pierce's defense, which is Mario's full in a minute, and Mario, well, I mean, he deals damage, so that was pretty nice. We kill the Horde of Shy Guys, then we move on to the next phase with the Stilt Guys. Then, after the Stilt Guys, we go fight a stack of Shy Guys, and after we kill the stack of Shy Guys, Herman Goring decides to be a little pussy and hide in his tank. But luckily, because Watt is, well, a very good partner, Watt manages to pierce the defense of the tank and deal a bunch of damage, meaning that Herman Goring was pretty easy to beat, allowing us to beat this chapter. Oh yeah, and also get the card, not like I can use the star power anyways. Then, Peach and the femboy bake a cake. And I contemplate whether I should poison a cake, but because I don't want to do this shit again, I just give the fat ass the cake and we can finally move on to Chapter 5. Before we can actually start Chapter 5, we have to go fight this weird fuzzy beetle, which, luckily, he was rather easy to beat. But afterwards, we were able to, get onto the island. The babies are lost! Which then has us entering the wild tropical forests of this island. We have to explore around, avoiding the bushes, going through the bushes, and we find Sushi. With this quest now with Sushi, we're able to swim around the islands. We're using her fish-like body. Well, she is a fish, so we swim on her back, and we manage to find one baby. Then, after continuously swimming around, we're able to rescue another baby from the vile clutches of a Venus flytrap. And we continue swimming around until we find all 5 of the babies. Then we fight the very not controversial Magic Koopa and the 3 Piranha Plants, and we finally get access to the big burb Raphael, who, luckily, manages to help us out by building us a ski lift. Now, in the volcano, Colorado is a pretty big idiot, but that's just Colorado for you. Then I go have fun exploring for a little bit, but it turns out I actually needed to go to a path that I decided to go explore for fun. So we get that. Alright, so we don't actually get the Ultra Hammer because the game just decided to crash. Hopefully this is the last time that the game crashes trying to get an upgrade for our attacks. Then, after breaking a bunch of metal blocks, Colorado does a stupid thing again, but it's just Colorado, so like, y'all didn't expect anything better, and then we're at the Lava Piranha boss. Damn, that was faster than I thought. I forget how short the volcano segment is, to be honest. We go in so we can go fight Lava Piranha, but he's you know, a bit too strong. But that is probably due to the fact that, well, I kind of don't know how to fight this boss fight, but after the first death, I formulated a pretty good idea of basically just kill the hands as fast as possible, so then we can kill the head. But also, our partners are a wee bit under-leveled, so, but after trying to fight again, now using Lady Bow because she deals 5 damage, it turns out, the second phase, you can't damage Lava Piranha because he's on fire. Meaning, it is impossible to beat Paper Mario 64 completely bare bones. But I have like a bit more footage I would like to show, so I'm just gonna show it because I have some stuff to add. My first plan was to use Chill Out, but despite its name, it doesn't actually chill out Lava Piranha, so that's a shame. Then I go use the Ice Power because it does deactivate it, but still, I deal way too little damage to kill Lava Piranha. So then, I go get the other 2 upgrade blocks I missed in the volcano. But I don't upgrade one essential partner, Goombario, because after googling up, Goombario deals 3 damage per bounce when ultra ranked, which means that I kind of wasted the 2, which means I kind of have to go back to Toad Town so I can go get another ultra rank. But upon going back to Toad Town, I actually found something pretty cool out. That originally, I always thought that you first need to beat Lava Piranha to have Junior Trooper appear, but apparently, I didn't even need to fight Lava Piranha for Junior Trooper to follow me back to Toad Town. So that was a pretty cool thing that you can do the Junior Trooper fight early. But after Ultra Ranking Goombario, we go into fight Lava Piranha, and now that we deal 10 damage per turn, we are finally able to beat Lava Piranha with Goombario. Was it still a hard fight? Very much so, but with Goombario being the unexpected MVP, congratulations Goombario. You're cool, because he deals 6 damage, which is the most out of any partner with their base attack. So that was another cool thing. After Colorado does his dumb thing, and we do another boring Peach segment, we can move on to the worst chapter in this game, Chapter 6. I don't like this chapter. This chapter deadass feels like a beta for Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. I mean, that chapter, it entirely plays like Thousand Year Door. You have long corridors, lots of backtracking, pretty confusing what you're meant to do. It's basically a beta test for Thousand Year Door. But other than me shitting on Thousand Year Door, because I can, Chapter 6 is pretty boring. We crash once because of a Crazy Daisy, so fuck Crazy Daisies, I guess. And then, we're just gonna skip on by because the challenge is already impossible. We go fight Huff and Puff, who is, unfortunately, again, impossible of being beaten without breaking the rules of this challenge. Because, for one, we do need to increase our HP by just a wee bit with the HP Plus badge. And then, we do need to use the Fire Flower item so that we can, well, get rid of his small Huff Puffs. Which is annoying, but this challenge is impossible already, so I don't really care. After another boring as shit Peach segment where we commit identity fraud, we can finally go on into the sewers so we can start Chapter 7. But I also messed up the order of which I was meant to fight the blooper, because I kind of forgot which path I was meant to go, I kind of forced myself to fight the hardest blooper, which is impossible to beat without badges, so that was fun. So, I mean, normally if you don't fight the blooper in the wrong order, you wouldn't need to fight him, but unfortunately you do. Then we go get the Ultra Jump. We go get the Ultra Jump. But whenever we try, the game crashes. So, unfortunately, on Project 64, this is as far as you can get in Paper Mario 64, because the game will just crash every time you try to get the Ultra Jump. So, unfortunately, either way, the challenge would have ended here. But if any one of you know how to not have the game crash, then let me know, but other than that, the challenge is impossible anyways. But other than that, If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you didn't, let me know why in the comments, and I'll see y'all later.